Well, Pep, a result that was just impossible to see at half-time. Across the 90 minutes, what did you make of it?
Yeah, it was a good game. After the goal, they concede. We have struggled 10, 15, 20 minutes after we come back again. So, yeah, in general, it was a really good performance. Unfortunately, we couldn't win.
You obviously, or I guess you'd be particularly satisfied first half. Can you just talk about the game plan maybe that gave you control? It looked like a big part of it was to get Semenyo and Cherki isolating their wide centre-backs and cause them problems?
No, the game plan is try to play with the ball and try to score goals and not concede. That is the game plan, and after the players make the difference.
Okay, what changed second half?
But before in the back, they put more direct balls. We won. They found the goal, and after that, the momentum that always happen in the Premier League happened. But yeah, some transitions. The control we didn't have it. But it was not a big issue. Just the momentum to score goals.
There was a sense a couple of weeks ago with the Manchester United game. I think you said afterwards. I remember Bernardo saying afterwards that it became their type of game, a transition game. Was that the case again second half today? It became their type of game, and you weren't able to switch the momentum back?
A little bit. Yeah, more actions than the first half. You're right. They push more, but they push as always. But Bernardo and Rodri and the other ones, Nico and everyone in behind. And the second half was a little bit more, but especially after the first goal.
Is that why you made some of the changes you did? Reinders, one of those that came on, Nico Gonzalez. Is that about trying to kind of stabilise the team?
No, to try to get energy, to try to score a goal. That's why we make substitutions.
Yeah, and Rodri, I'm guessing you were worried that he was pretty close to a red card?
Oh, yeah? Good. No, that was not the reason.
Okay, what was the reason?
The decision to put another player with another energy to Phil Foden in the final third to try to his style and score goals.
Okay. What did you make of their first goal? VAR had a look, obviously.
Once again.
Once again, what?
Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
And?
I mean, it doesn't matter what I think, does it?
Okay, that's that.
No. Okay. What do you think? You tell us.
No, nothing. Nothing, that's all.
You don't want to get drawn into it?
Of course not. Come on. It's happened. Once again, what can I say? Mark has the ball, he's been kicking from behind, and it's goal. So what can I say? Nothing, one more.
Okay. Just tell us how big a blow you think this is.
No,
it's one win in 5 now.
Blow is the performance of United, for example. The rest is being good. We are playing in a high level. Of course, we didn't have the consistency, to win the games when always we were able to do it. But 14 games, a lot of points, 6 points. Next one.
Thank you.
Rodri, I can see how frustrated you are. How do you sum that one up?
Well, difficult game as we expect. We start 2-0 up. I think we did an incredible effort. We did a very complete game, but at the end, the little details dictate the difference. I'm just one of the captains, and today I want to see that I don't know how to feel, honestly. Now I see the images in the pitch. Of course, you cannot see. There's a clear foul in the first action of the goal. It's a clear foul, and VAR is for a reason. And these small details make the difference. We're trying to do our best. It's the first goal they score. Maybe they don't score a goal. We win the game, but it's one game and another game and another game, and it's not possible. And honestly, I never speak about referees. I respect their job massively, but they have to pay attention to these things. He kicked the leg. It's so clear. It's so clear. He anticipated the leg of Mark, and it's a clear foul. But it's not today. It's just 2-3 games in a row, and I don't know why, honestly. I know we won too much, and the people they don't want us to win, but the referee has to be neutral. And for me, honestly, it's not fair. It's not fair because we work so hard in these situations now to make these decisions that you have to move on, of course, but you need to come back. But at the end, when everything is finished, you are frustrated because it's so clear, the foul. He kicked the leg, and then, as of course, with the push of the action and the ball gets in. But we have to pay attention to these little things. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult for everyone because this league is like this. It's about small details, and everything counts. So I think today is a very tough day for us in this sense.
as you think does count, how damaging could this result be for the title race?
No, it's not damaging. Of course, we expect here to win, but we go further from this. Of course, we wanted to win. We're still not gonna, put the arms down. We're gonna keep fighting until the end because this is our identity. But the reality is we need to be fair in these situations. It's not just one, because everyone can be a mistake. We all have mistakes. No worries about one. But when it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, as the manager says, because he's the guy in charge of saying these things, but now I'm the captain saying today, it's not possible. Honestly, it's not possible. And I'm not saying the level of referees here is bad. It's great. But we have to pay attention because we work so hard to, these little actions not make the difference. It cannot make the difference. And today, unfortunately, did it.
Have you spoken to the referee? Have you had a response?
No, it's impossible. You cannot talk to them. It's not my aim to talk to them. But at the end, in the years before, it's not my responsibility. Now I'm the captain. I want to say it today. We feel a bit upset with this.
That upset is certainly coming over from Rodri, right? From one Ballon d'Or winner to another. He says it's not fair. We can't obviously go back to the other decisions he might be alluding to, but today's on Mark Guéhi. Do you agree with him?
Yeah. I thought it was a mistake. Said before, I thought it was a foul. Guéhi plants his foot. He's actually given to Solanke as well the goal, and whether that's a cover-up to in order to say, well, he touched it, so that's why there's not a foul. But if Solanke touched it, the ball probably would have dribbled about 6 inches, 8 inches, or something like that. The goal has been scored by Guéhi. The momentum of his leg being kicked, which then goes, bounces onto the ball and knocks it into the net. It's a foul. It's just a foul, and I totally agree with Rodri. Totally agree with Pep Guardiola, even though he didn't say it. We all know what he's referring to. We said it at half time. We said it at full time, and I haven't changed my mind. I think it was a foul. Now things like that do go for you, against you throughout the season, and of course, footballers are well used to it through their career, having good, bad decisions. That's normal. But you can understand the frustration of them today.
Are you completely with Rodri on this as well?
Yeah, definitely. Again, he's emotionally attached to the situation, but I remember scenarios where you feel aggrieved by decisions, and that is definitely one. Even the last image then we've seen of Solanke's contact, as minimal as it was, he's had to kick through Mark to get any sort of contact on the ball, so which suggests to me there's a foul. I don't feel the ball goes in if Mark Guéhi's contact isn't there, so yeah, definitely understand his frustration to the decision.
Rodri understandably says they'll keep fighting, but how damaging do you think today could be, with the opportunity to go back within 4 and suddenly they're 6?
Yeah, again, thinking about it then, it doesn't equate to any more games, though it's still 2 games they need to catch up on Arsenal. So you could look at it from that point of view. It's damaging because of the 2-0 lead they had and the second half performance. They wasn't terrible in the second half. So, and they still conceded 2 goals. So it wasn't, yes, it was a decision in regards to the first goal, but the second goals come from just individual errors and the half mistakes. And that continues to be a pattern throughout City's defensive strategy over the last few months. So I think that is the worrying part of it, is they don't seem to get rid of their mistakes defensively.
And just to put it into context in terms of the territory City we're in today, it's the first time in almost 8 years they've been 2-0 up at half-time in a Premier League game and not gone on to win it. And now in this run, they've won just once in 6 league games when you're trying to challenge for a title.
Yeah, and they've got to go to Anfield next weekend as well. I mean, it's tough. I personally don't think they're good enough to be winning the league this season. They're not putting up much of a challenge. It's going to be a low points total that's going to win it this season with Arsenal. Probably early 80s, you would expect, the way things are going at the moment. Now, City, Liverpool, they've been getting into the 90s quite consistently over the years. Both teams are way off that. Manchester City going through a transitional period at the moment. And I don't think they're capable of going on and winning 10 games on the spin, which is what they're going to need to do to put pressure on Arsenal. I just don't think they're good enough at the moment, at this time. They might be next season, once this team gets time to bed, but not at the minute. I don't see them as getting past Arsenal this year.
Response that was from the Premier League leaders for the group and indeed for their manager, Mikel Arteta.
Can we shine a light on Madueke and the role that he played, not knowing he was going to play, had to come in, got his numbers, fans cheering his name, singing his name?
I keep telling them, football is so unexpected, so be ready, because when you don't expect it, you're going to give you an opportunity. And it happened in the warm-up with Bukayo. He came on and he certainly helped the team.
What is the situation with Bukayo? What was the reason why he had to come off?
He had a little niggle and he wasn't comfortable to start the game, so we made a decision straight away, and now we're going to have to do some tests tomorrow and see how he's.
When you say you needed the win, listening to Declan Rice after the game as well, he said it was such a big win for you. Will it silence the noise around you?
I don't think so. I mean, it will be noise, good, bad, medium, rare, I don't know. It will be noise. I mean, it's what we are playing for. The margins are very, very small. And, the expectation are to win every game, so that's it.
I know you want the players to enjoy the next 4 months. You want to enjoy the next 4 months. But when you list the competitions and where you're at as well, it's some achievement, isn't it, to be where you are at this stage of the season?
Yeah, that's why I said it, because I really feel it and enjoy with that conviction and enjoy the difficult moments that you have to go through here. Today you want to win, and we certainly done that, and then you get rewarded, and now we can enjoy the win and start to prepare Chelsea.
And with Gyökeres as well, how important was it for him, do you feel, just for his own belief that he got on the score sheet today?
For all of them. I think for Noni, as you mentioned, Zubimendi as well, after what happened a few days ago, to come and score a very important goal. Gabriel Jesus coming in, Victor coming in, Martinelli comes in and helps, Martin Odegaard the same. So a really positive day.
Do you give yourself a day off?
No, now we go Chelsea now.
He's relentless, isn't he? And of course, they lead in that League Cup semi-final, first leg before they play Chelsea this week. But on the back of their domestic defeat to Manchester United, was that a statement win from Arsenal?
Yeah, a bit of a statement win with how emphatic the scoreline was. 2 points out of 9 prior to that. There was definitely a little wobble there, and if they had not got the result at Leeds, then there would have been lots of noise. Certainly not a medium rare, or whatever we called it. And people would have said they'd be wobbling. Absolutely, they've never been here before, or not for a long time, and you know, they're throwing it away in true Arsenal style, and all the things that you hear. So that was good from an Arsenal point of view. I mean, you know, they've gone into this weekend in poor form, really, for their standards in the league, and they've come out of it having scored 4 goals, kept a clean sheet, extended their lead. It's a really good weekend for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, definitely a statement victory due to the result, the emphatic scoreline. But whenever they go ahead opposite to Man City, you think they're going to see the game out, and that's what they have. They have a great balance, whether the goals are coming from set pieces or open play. It's just whenever they get a lead, that gives them the confidence, we can keep a clean sheet, whether it be just relying on the back four or defensively as a unit. So, yeah, they're going to be a tough team to stop.
Yeah, they have got the most clean sheets and the best defence. But it is a bit bizarre because they're top of the league, 6 points clear. Their leading goal scorer has 6 Premier League goals, Victor Gyökeres. Their joint third top goal scorer in the Premier League is own goals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's touched on it a little bit earlier. They're not, you know, it's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter how you win the league. You know, if you're a counter-attacking team, if you're, you know, a brilliant attacking team, if you're a defensive team. I mean, in the main, if you said to me, describe Arsenal, just give what's the strength of their team? I'd say defensively. Defensively, they're brilliant. You know, literally brilliant. I think they've got an amazing goalkeeper, 2 of the best centre-halves in world football.
And crucially, backup for them as well now.
They've got a deep squad. Oh, they've got plenty more than a good defence, don't get me wrong, but it's their strength. You know, even in front of them, Zubimendi, Declan Rice, I mean, they protect them as well. It's a very, very well-organised, efficient team. Going forward, of course, they score goals. They're a good team. They've got great players, but they're not a Liverpool, they're not a Manchester City of the last decade where they literally can go and blitz a team and win 6-0. Of course, that's on the back of a 4-0 win against Leeds, so you know it slightly sort of skews that in a way. But in general, Arsenal aren't a 4-0, 5-0 winning team. I don't ever think they're going to blow a team away like a Liverpool or a Manchester City would. They're going to do it in a different way. They're going to definitely come up short in terms of points compared to winning teams over the last decade or so. However, it's going to be enough, and you can only judge every team on the year that they're playing. You know, Liverpool, you can say they've thrown it away a little bit. Manchester City, you can say they've thrown it away a little bit. However, they've all got to play the same teams. The strength of the Premier League in general is incredibly strong. So it might be that that's just the way forward in many ways now. I mean, look at the Champions League. 5 of our 6 teams in the top 8 qualification. And even the 6th team, Newcastle, are only just outside it. So even in Europe, the Premier League has shown itself to be incredibly strong. So it might just be the way that the points total is going to come down a little bit over the next few years while the teams, you know, continue to really strengthen throughout.
Because does it matter? Because you don't see over the years, in the first week of February, the league leaders, and then go to their top scorer in the league, and it's 6 goals, do you? There is normally a Haaland or a Salah or et al. You know,
there is normally that. But then when you think about a Haaland or a Salah, who's the next in line or who's the next top goal scorer in their teams? And they're probably on low numbers anyway. So the fact that they've spread them out over a portion of different players or own goals, they've got a variety of ways of scoring. Because if we question Man City and say, are they too over-reliant on Haaland because he's got so many goals and then no one else is chipping in. So the fact that Trossard's got goals, Saka's got a few, Zubamendi, Montoro can score goals. So they've got players that can score goals. They just haven't got a prolific goal scorer. And like Mark said, there's no one way to win the league, and no one's going to remember in 5-6 years' time the top goal scorer. They're going to remember the championship and if they win it or not.
Everybody loves a great player, don't they? Everybody loves somebody to turn to and think, yeah, he's definitely going to score today. However, you could argue the other way around, that it's actually healthier not to have one of those. Because if Haaland gets injured, you know, what are Manchester City going to do? If Mo Salah over the last few years gets injured, and he never does, what are Liverpool going to do, etc.? If a player gets injured for Arsenal, I wouldn't be bothered. I wouldn't be bothered if I was an Arsenal fan. They've just got players and players. Look at their bench.
2 for every position.
It's incredible. Yeah, they've got so many attacking players.
But they thought Gyökeres could be that man.
Yes.
I mean, actually, if he had 15 goals sitting here now, they'd probably be a lot out of sight. But he has got 4 in the last 6 in all competitions. Half of his Premier League goals have actually come against Leeds in the 2 games. Are you seeing small signs of him finding his feet, Premier League-wise?
Not necessarily. I don't necessarily think he's going to improve a great deal. He is what he is. He's not a young 18-year-old coming into a new
27.
country. Exactly. So he's not going to get miles better at his age. He is a good finisher. He's a good runner. He's strong. He's got decent enough movement. Do I think he's all of a sudden going to go and score 30 goals in the Premier League this season or next season? Not really. I don't think he's got the class for that. I think he's a good player. I think Arsenal probably needed and wanted a bit more from him. I think Arsenal fans are probably, on the whole, a bit underwhelmed. I mean, if there was a Champions League final tomorrow and you did a survey on Arsenal fans, would he be the centre forward? I think half of them would pick Jesus, maybe even Havertz. So I don't think for the money, I don't think that happy. But when everything else is going well around you,
the noise has gone away, hasn't it?
Under the carpet, can't you? So that's
definitely. I don't even think it's the Arsenal fans. I think if everyone's fit and healthy, I don't think Mikel Arteta picks him to play in the Champions League final. So I think he's a fit for what they needed now. They didn't have many options, and when everyone's fit and healthy, he's a good, very good squad player. Talking
of fit and healthy, Aston Villa have had horrendous luck with injuries, haven't they? With their midfield 3, Ollie Watkins missing today, and with 11 men, they couldn't beat the 10 of Brentford. They couldn't go back to 4 behind. Are they still in the conversation, or the fact that they're still in the FA Cup and Europa League, with all those players missing, is it too much of an ask? Yeah, I think it is too much of an ask. I never really saw them as real contenders to win the league. I thought they're strong contenders to push City, but to go on to the next level and push Arsenal, I think that was too much of a reach due to their squad. They've got a good team when everyone's fit, but that isn't the case every week. They've got other elements to the league that they can look upon as successful, whether it is finishing the Champions League or winning Europa League. So it isn't a damning defeat in terms of their title contention, because I don't necessarily consider they was in it. But yes, they want to get back onto the horse, as I said, to keep the momentum and the positive feel around the group. And they've got Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool all in behind them. I think, they've had a fantastic season. They've had a fantastic couple of seasons. They really, really do continue to surprise. But I think if you're realistic, Aston Villa should be looking at trying to stay in that top 4, top 5 and get Champions League football again next season. And who knows, maybe win a trophy this season. They're certainly capable. He didn't want to be drawn into the first goal, but if you were a guessing man, you'd probably say he agrees with Jolien and with Michael. But let me tell you this, they've let a 2-goal lead slip at half-time in the Premier League for the first time in almost 8 years. Last time that happened was the Manchester derby at home to United when Chris Smalling, of all people, got the winner. That's how unusual territory we are in here, seeing City 2 up at half-time and not win the game.
Yeah, that stat is actually surprising to me that it's taken that long, because I still feel they're frail and fragile with a 2-goal lead. I don't think that's as comfortable as it has been in the past. Like I say, the way they defend is it allows teams to get at them, whether it's transition or direct play, like Dominic Solanke spoke about in his interview. So I still think there's elements of their defensive side of their game they definitely aren't able to rely on. I think in previous seasons, if they got 1 goal up, it was like defensively they're strong enough to see this game out, and they're just not there at the moment.
No. And in terms of a title challenge, that's absolutely critical, isn't it, at this stage? If you're saying they haven't got a foundation to go and see a game out.
It is.
1 win in 6.
I've said to you for all season, listen, they're the nearest challengers to Arsenal. I can't see Manchester City winning the league this season. I've never been able to see it right from the start of the season. And even though they're second now, I still can't see it. I don't think they're good enough. I think they're in a transitional period, lots of new players. I think they're shaky at the back. I think the best player, Rodri, is taken a fair bit of time, quite naturally, to come back to form. I just don't think they're good enough to win the Premier League at the moment. In fact, Arsenal are probably going to win the league with a real low points tally, or they could do. I mean, they're heading for low 80s, which is a low number considering the bar that Liverpool have set, Manchester City have set over the last decade or so. This is going to be a low points season, and none of these teams at the moment have got the quality, the consistency to muster a challenge. They're basically handing it to Arsenal. And Arsenal are a good team, don't get me wrong. They're an efficient team, but they're not a team like we've seen in the last few years that are going to go and blitz the league and win it by 10 points because of their great football. They're going to probably, win it through solidity and, grinding out a few games as well, and, a lot of set pieces, etc., etc. Very good team, yes, but they're not been pushed by the real teams, the Cities and the Liverpools this season. And as I say, I can't see Manchester City challenging Arsenal, really. They're just not good enough. And, for them to do it, they're going to have to go on a real good run. And I just can't see. I mean, I asked Jolien, and Jolien said right at the start of the show, I can't really see City going on a 10-game winning spree. They've always been able to do that. They've always been able to do that. But this team, I just don't think are good enough at the moment. It might be. It might develop to be that in the next year or two, but not at the moment.
Yeah, I echo that. At first, I thought, do I see Arsenal dropping enough points for City to catch? Not necessarily, but I don't see them winning enough games in a row to challenge. Like Marcus said then, I don't see them keeping 6 clean sheets out of 10 games and score. They will score goals. 100% they will score goals, with Semenyo now adding goals and supporting Haaland. But in terms of clean sheets, you can't be up 2-0, and we're talking about City dropping points when they're up 2-0. That would never be the case, regardless of what transitional period they're in. So, yeah, for them to go on now and have to probably win 10 in a row to really apply a pressure on Arsenal, it's a tough ask.
They've got to try and make that fixture in April matter, haven't they? The Etihad when Arsenal come.
Yeah, exactly. But in the meantime, I mean, they go to Anfield next. In the league, it's, I can probably see them going further away than actually narrowing the gap as things stand. So that's going to be difficult for them. But hey, long way to go still. 6 points is certainly possible to overhaul for any team, but I just don't think that City have got that capability, and I see Arsenal as very, very effective. I don't think they're going to throw anything away. I think they're going to, soldier on and keep that distance between them.
OK, let's squeeze in some reaction. Conor Gallagher is waiting to speak to us live from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Well played, Conor. I mean, what a turnaround that was.
Thank you. It was a great second half after a tough first half, but I thought we showed great character and personality, and we really stuck together to get that result tonight.
Was there a feeling at half-time? Score next and you never know?
Yeah, that was the main thing. Obviously, there was a full 45 minutes left. and if we get an early goal, then anything could happen. And yeah, I thought it was a great performance in the second half.
And of course, you did get that early goal, and then you had a huge part to play in Dominic Solanke's scorpion equaliser.
Incredible, yeah. I couldn't believe what I saw, to be fair. It was an unbelievable goal. Yeah, it was a perfect timing for it as well.
Hi, Kyle, it's Julian.
Yes, Julian.
You're right. How much of the second half performance was down to the tactical change or emphasis on, or do you take responsibility as a group of players?
Yeah, I think we kind of went back to basics a bit in the second half, kind of went to more of a 4-4-2 defensively and picked our times when we could press. And I think we were a bit more aggressive and we made good decisions in that, when to go and when not to go. I think in the first half we didn't know what to do a lot of the time and it was really tough. It felt like they had an extra man. But no, the second half was brilliant, and I thought our decision making in when to press and when not to press was top.
And do you think this can be a springboard now?
I really hope so. It's definitely my best performance with Tottenham as a team since I've been here, and I really hope we can get confidence from this and build on from it.
Well done again. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us.
Cheers, guys. No worries.
Conor Gallagher back in the Premier League and back in that second half performance. And Manchester United next, of course, for Tottenham at Old Trafford.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. Tottenham in a real time of tough games, let's say, as you say, Manchester United next, and it gets tougher and tougher and tougher in the next 3 or 4 games. So they will be aware of that. But that's a good start. 2 wins in the Champions League in the last week or 2 and 2 draws in the Premier League. 4 games unbeaten. They're back.
Michael, Julian, thank you very much indeed. A big second half for Spurs, bitterly disappointing for City. On the day they draw, Villa lose, and the weekend.
Manchester City's recent form. Arsenal have had a couple of results, since the turn of the year that maybe opened the door to Manchester City, but it's just 1 win in 6. When you look at the opposition in there, does it feel like his side are missing big opportunities, Michael?
Yeah, they're not putting games to bed. I mean, obviously, Sunderland away is always a tough game. Chelsea was a late goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brighton, they didn't play the best football.
But we're ahead.
But we're ahead. Manchester Derby, it was a freak result. Nobody's seen that coming. Obviously, they got the one against Wolves. But today in the second half wasn't good enough. And as soon as a team puts pressure, they can't deal with it. We've lauded Man City for how they play and the combinations, everything they do, so good to watch. But the last 6 games is not been a standard we've seen of all.
No, and it's only a 6-point gap with 14 games to go. This is not finished yet. Arsenal very much have the upper hand. Would you expect Manchester City, a team who have so many players who have a history of winning trophies, to have a bit more belief, Michael, however you want to define belief?
It's a tough one because when you talk about Man City and you talk about the players, the experience and how much they've won, you never want to write them off. And you always feel like Pep's going to come up with some formula to get it right. And in the first half, we thought we'd seen that. But in the second half, it just wasn't there. And I don't know if it's hoping they're going to get to that level, but the performances of the last 6 games have not taught me that they're going to win the league this year. And Arsenal at times have not been brilliant, but they're getting over the line. A big result against Leeds. And you're just looking for Man City to close the gap. And look, he said, 14 games left. Anything can happen. But I'm seeing too many bad traits defensively to tell me that they can go and win the league, because Arsenal defensively are a lot better than Man City.
I think as well with Pep today, he made a tactical change in the game when he brought on another defensive midfield player, Nico Gonzalez. I just feel the Premier League right now doesn't lend itself to trying to hang on to a lead. I saw it yesterday at West Ham United when the manager brings on Kilman to go with back 3. Straight away, the initiative changes. You start to sit back, you sink back, you get deeper. You give the initiative to the other team. The crowd get up. It just doesn't work. This league, it almost needs you to go, if you're winning 2-1, try and win 3-1, 4-1. And I think that's the mistake they made today. They started to sit back on it. Now, what does this do to the league? I think this will be remembered as the weekend that Arsenal won the title. I think it's that big a weekend for them. It was a huge result against Leeds. And to see 2 sides, Mikel Arteta would have been at home this afternoon watching the 2 games and thinking, I fancy Villa to beat Brentford. They didn't. And he'd probably see the second half thinking 2-0, this could be 5-0. He'd be opening a nice bottle of Rioja tonight because this is it. I think this is a title done now for Arsenal. And I think they could go on win it by 8-10 points. I'd be amazed if they don't. They've got the players. They've been getting their own way lately. I think they've been getting a little bit anxious. The crowd, the connection between the two of them. The manager gets a little bit uptight, and I think that transmits to the players. But I think now they can start to relax a bit, and I'll be amazed if they don't go and win this title comfortably now. They've got the best squad, they've got the best players, and they've got, I think, and nobody really is strong enough to compete. Villa are doing incredible things, absolutely amazing what they're achieving, but they're running out of steam with injuries, etc. And you can see that Manchester City's form just isn't strong enough. They're not capable of going on an 18, 19 game run like they did a few years ago when they had Kevin De Bruyne at his best. It's just not in this team right now. And it just shows you, if you don't commit players, if you don't take opportunities, this league can bite you. And that's what showed today. And it wasn't a strong Tottenham side by any stretch of imagination. They just showed a lot of guts, determination. They threw themselves back into the game, got the crowd behind them. And it looked easy. And if anything, towards the last 15 minutes, I could only really see one winner, and that was probably going to be Spurs.
Yeah.
Is there an issue with goal scoring for Manchester City, particularly with the form of Haaland?
I think on a day like today, he didn't have an excuse because Spurs tried to commit men forward, play really high. He had the opportunity. Maybe the ball came to him a little bit too late, but in terms of his all-round game, I wanted a little bit more from him.
But and not just